Okay, welcome back. Part 2 of the winter junk journal that I worked on with Michelle and Jen. Today I'm going to bind my pages together. So I've just put my pages in groups of 3. I just kind of did it by like putting thicker ones together with thinner ones, like no really rhyme or reason, but you kind of stack them inside, like open them up like this and stack them inside one another. Let me back up some. Okay, that might have been a little too much. That's okay. Anyway, that way you can see everything I'm working with here. Okay, so I've taken a page, or I'm sorry, 3 pages and put them together like this. Okay, so I want the seam in them, the fold in them to line up. So I've made 3 sets of 3. I'm going to set those aside for now. Kind of want to show you everything you're going to need. So you're going to need obviously your junk journal pages. You're going to need some plain, I'm using this pink, but you can use whatever color goes with yours as your background kind of color for your cover for all of it. And then decorative paper too to layer up. That's going to make the outside cover of your junk journal. You're going to need some chipboard pieces. This is what I'm using. You can use boxes. I actually had some thicker chipboard that I'm going to use. I measured these out for my junk journal pages. They are 8.5 by 4.5 wide. So I gave it an extra inch for all the trim and the things hanging off. So my cover is going to be 5 inches wide by 9 inches tall. You're going to need a spine piece. I did mine 3 inches wide by 9 inches long. And I covered one side with decorative paper. I'll show you that in a minute. This side you can leave plain because you're going to cover that with your cardstock at the end. This side's going to be like the inside spine of your journal, so I just wanted to put something kind of pretty in there in case you saw some of it. Okay, you're going to need likely a ruler and glue. I've got a pencil here, scissors. You're going to need a binding kit. This is what I got off of Amazon. I'll try to link it down in the description box later, but it comes with these pieces: needle, waxed thread, and this nice little pokey tool. I think that covers it. Oh, and I have some clips here too to help me keep everything lined up together. So what I did first, we're gonna do this together, okay? I haven't actually done this yet, but I feel like this system's gonna work. So I have a scratch piece of paper here that is the same measurements as my spine for my journal. It is 3 inches wide by 9 inches long. And what I did was I went and cut it down the middle, so at 4.5, and then I made 3 markings for each set of the papers. What am I trying to say? Signature. That's what you call your group of your pages together. So I've gone through and I want to put 3 holes through each one to bind them together, and then I want to bind it to my spine like this. So I just kind of gave myself a guide. Now what I did here, I just kind of guessed where these 2 outer settings needed to be. So I started with my center, went in 1.5 inches and down 4.5 inches. And then I just went over, let's see, there's my measurements at the top. Okay. So I went into the center 1.5, and then this first one's going to be at 0.75, 1.5, and 2.25 inches. That's how I'm going to space mine out, and I think that'll work. And I just did that 3 times. So I went up, I think, 1.5 inches from the bottom, 1.5 inches from the top, and kind of did it that way to make myself a guide. So what I'm going to do first, I'll set my chipboard pieces aside. I'm going to use my guide here, okay? So what I want to do first is bind my pages together. So this is where those clips are going to come in handy. That way you can, some of my stuff's falling out. I can add that back in later. So that you can line up where your pages need to be. So let me just start with that. I'm going to clip these together so that the center seam stays all lined up with all 3 pages. So clip all these together so that they don't move around too much on me. So see, still folding well. Okay, so I'm going to take my little guide here, and I'm going to use this center row of measurements for now on here. Remember, my pages are only 8.5, and I've got a 9-inch guide here. So I want to try to get equal distance top and bottom. Looks like I need, oh, here we go. I'll just use this. One more clip would have been good. I'll just steal one of these. and clip it there. Okay, there we go. Clip the bottom too. Okay, so that way my guide stays still too. So I'm going to take my pokey tool first and poke holes where I have it down the center. Look, it's not even lined up. That helps. If you fold it, make sure you've got your fold in the right spot. Like I said, I'm figuring this out as we go along, but I think this is going to work. Put some thought into this. I'm learning with you here. Okay, now we have it in the center, so I'm going to take that and I want to go through the center of all my pages. So see how I've poked all the way through to the back and then just pull it back out. I want to do the same here and go through the center and up here. And don't poke yourself. Okay, don't poke yourself. So there, now I've got those holes there. So I'm going to pull my guide out. I don't need it for that set anymore. Now I'm going to take my wax thread. Let's see if I can find where this chart is. Here we go. And kind of rule of thumb is you want to use about a little over 3 lengths of your pages. Is what I've learned in the past. That works pretty good. Clip that off. I'm going to take one of these needles. This set comes with several. And I'm going to thread this through like so. And I'm going to pull it about halfway, I think, maybe 2/3 of the way through. Now, I'm going to go through the front. You can choose to start your binding from the back or the front, but always start in the center hole. So I'm going to go this way, pull it through. I want to keep, let's see, which piece is it? I'm trying to think. I want to keep, I guess my longer piece will work. And then I'm going to go through the outside of my pages back in the top hole. There we go. And pull it through. And then I'm going to go back through my center. You don't want to pull this long string all the way through. You want to leave that in your original first binding hole. Take it back through the center and out. Look, see, it's already getting caught there. I don't want that to happen. Okay, and then I'm going to take it, sorry, this is hard on the camera, flipping back and forth. Take it back through the outside bottom hole and back through the middle. And then I'm going to take mine up like this, under that string, and pull it through. And then I'm going to tie it off. So I have lots of excess. This is good if you want to leave some out like this, and then you could put like a dangle. You could put it back through that hole and put a dangle. I'll probably just trim mine off since I have so many pages. So now you just want to tighten it and tie it off in a knot. Now here's where you can choose. You can choose to leave this here so that you can put some little dangles in there. I'll probably leave this piece. No, I'm not. I'm going to leave the longer piece. Okay, so I'm just going to trim this off. I honestly should have left that, and then I could have. See, here we go. We're learning together. I meant to bind it through mine. Okay, so I have my length, like 3 times my pages. I'm going to go over here and work on my spine, because when I bind my pages together, I want to go ahead and bind them to this spine too. Skip that step. So let me go ahead and poke my holes on my spine. So I'm just going to use these clips to line up my little scrap sheet of paper here with where I want to put it. So I'm just going to poke through all these holes so I can go ahead when I'm binding my signatures together, I can go ahead and bind them to the spine of the book. Now, like I said, I'm using fairly thick chipboard here. could definitely use like a thinner box, like a cereal box or something. That would work just as well. Just kind of depends on how thick you want your cover. Like I said, I had this chipboard already, so I'm going to use it. But anyway, so that's what my spine looks like. It wrinkled up the paper some, but that's okay because my pages are going to be stuck in there anyway. You won't see a whole lot of that, I guess, from the inside. And just try to get all my holes lined up. This is the hardest part, getting it through your papers and then into your chipboard. Sorry, I guess I should put it where you guys can see it too. Maybe I'll do it from the outside. Get through the chipboard first. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay. You're gonna leave your long piece. You don't want to pull that long all the way through. You want to leave that in there. And then I'm gonna go up through the top. I think my chipboard moved on me. I think that's the issue I'm having here. There we go. Now it's working like I want. Okay, so I've just thread it through the top. I'm gonna go back through the center. Look, I'm pulling this side over. Go back through the center. Somewhere. Whoops. Oh, I just poked a hole in my page. Okay, there we go. And then I'm gonna go down to the bottom. Make sure I've got that lined up good. Did I make it through the, yeah, I did. Okay. Double checking myself, make sure I made it all the way through that chipboard piece. Oh, I've unclipped everything. Okay. Now I'm going back through that bottom hole and out the side. I'm gonna pull that short piece through. And now we're back to our center again. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna thread up under this stitch. I'm gonna pull this one that's loose over out of the way. And I'm gonna pull this one under and through. And here comes Lucy to help. Okay, so this is where I'm going to pull it tight and tie it off. There we go. So now we have our, she threw me off. Now we have our spine connected to our first signature. That's going to be my signature, my middle signature. So I'm going to trim off this short piece. Now, on this long piece, you can leave it long and then make yourself like a little dangle bookmark, which I think I'm going to do with the center one that way. And it's long enough that I can put it either way. But you're going to have some extra threading, and that's okay. You can just trim all that off. Just make sure you give yourself enough. That's why I always measure out like 3 times the length of whatever project I'm working on. Okay. I'm going to take these clips and my little guide off. Oop. I guess I should have unstitched my guide. Before I actually did it, I should have just left it for the marks and then moved on. But that's okay. We're learning as we go here. I'm learning with you. All right, so there's my spine and it's attached. I love how that worked out. Okay, good deal. I'm excited. Can you tell? Okay, so I'm gonna make myself another guide and not sew it in this time. Okay, I'm back. New guide, not gonna sew it in this time. What a goof. Okay, here we go. Can you tell I have COVID brain? In fact, I'm going to fold this one in half. That'll help it get in the fold better. So there's a little tip and trick. You can take your guide, fold it down in half. That way you can get it definitely in your center. Okay, remember that I have a little bit, like a 1/4 of an inch hanging off either end to line up. I still have to clip my I think this might get more difficult each time because now I have to line it up with this. Spine too. Man, my words, you guys, this COVID brain is no joke. Like you just completely blank out mid-sentence. I can't think of the word I want to use. It's just gone. That's been my biggest deal. Everybody talks about the brain fog that comes with COVID. Mine has been my words, and I need my words, y'all. Okay, let's do this again. Gonna measure out about 3 lengths of this waxed thread. Stuff is awesome, super thick. You can obviously use other kinds, but I like this because it's not going to fray as I thread it through. Go ahead and thread my needle, get that ready. Go back with my pokey tool. I've already poked the holes through the spine, so now I just have to do the pages and hope that they come out evenly. Sorry, I've got to set it up like this so I can see where I'm at with my pages and the spine hole. Helps me. There we go. Oh, okay, poke that one through. I'm gonna do the center. Make sure I'm making it through the center of my pages. And then out to my spine. Oh, I just pulled my clip off. That's okay. Still got the bottom one. And then again, here through, actually I'm not gonna clip the spine now that I have the pages done. Go through the center of my pages, through that spine. Okay. Now I'm gonna take my guide off and scooch these over a bit. I'm sure there are better tutorials out there for you to watch than mine. Like I said, I like to learn as I go, and that's what I'm doing. So you can learn from my mistakes here. Okay, so I don't really have to worry about those moving too much because that first section is already bound to the spine. I swear I'm trying to lose my voice. Okay. Again, I'm going to start in the center, but this section is going to go, you know, over in that first hole. Pokey tools in there. I need to scooch it over. All right. Let me just get it through here first. All right, Lucy, I don't need any help today. I'm messing this up enough on my own. Sorry I have to set it like this, but this is how I can see it to do this. So I've gone through my center, I'm going through the top of my spine, then my top holes in my page. Well, so that, there we go. I'm gonna go back through my center, back through my center spine, and then down through my bottom spine hole into my pages. Lucy, you're not helping me, girlfriend. Not helping, Mom. Okay, I can't see. There we go. Okay. So now that one is all pulled tight. Awesome. Okay, pull that off. Oops, I forgot to go back through my center. This is why I don't do a whole lot of tutorials. I goof up a lot. Right now, you know, try not to say any bad words. How did I get through that? Oh, okay. This is just where I got to tie it off. I don't have to poke back through. Confuse myself. Wrap that around, pull that off, and make my knot. Look, we have 2 signatures done now. Woohoo! One more to go. I'm going to clip both of those off. I'm not going to leave a long one there. So there we go. Oh, this is working. This is working. I'm excited. Okay, see? All right, now we have one more signature to do in the back. And Lucy's knocking all my stuff off the table. Here, you can have these pieces. Here, go play with this. There you go. Give her some string to play with. Okay, here we go. One more. Woo! And look, I'm so proud I remembered to take my guide off that time. I think one of the tutorials I watched a while back, she had done the same thing. So, you know, it's a common error. let's see, let's do these pages like these. Okay, clip my guide in there, poke my holes, and then we'll attach it to the spine. Wish it would stay flat like I want it to. There we go. Just crinkle it over the side. Okay, pokey tool, and do my center. You have to be careful because you can poke it through your pages and not the actual like center seam where you want it. I did that a couple of times, not gonna lie. Mine will not be perfect, but that's okay because it's just for me. If you're making this for somebody else, you want to probably be a little more careful than I'm being today. Look, I don't even have it on camera where you guys can see. Okay, got that. Take that off. And just kind of put it on. Here. Let's see, let's just clip these together so they don't shift around on me. There we go. Okay. Now we can line this up with here. Get my thread out. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. And we can just do the same thing one more time. I'm going to start in my center hole. Well, I think I am. Get this guy back. No, that's not where I need you to go. Through here. This is the easier way to do it. Just don't pull your string too far. Do not sign me up to be a bookmaker to pay the bills. You imagine finding books like this all day long for your something's off here. There we go. There we go. Okay. This is a hot mess, but you guys get the idea. I'm kind of a hot mess crafter, so it doesn't really surprise me that this is how my project's going today. You guys are going to get used to seeing Lucy's face and have no idea what my face looks like. You just see my hands. But Lucy is determined to help me today for whatever reason, so instead of fighting her off, I'll just save my energy and keep on going with her help. Oh, nothing's lining up for me today. There we go. Up. Get all these ribbons and pretty trims out of the way. Gonna thread it back through that center. Hopefully you can see that. My camera looks like it's getting dark on me here. Probably losing battery because that's my luck today. And just gotta tie it off. Pull it tight. Tie it off. I'm going to clip these. I don't want long ones here either. Ta-da! It works! I did it! Woohoo! Yay! It's all bound together. My camera's moving on me. It's all bound together to the spine. I'm going to poke that up like that when I put the seam down. Okay, so there's video 2. And since that one took forever, we're going to do a video 3 on how to make the cover. Stay tuned.